think it comes back to the people side in that I'm a strong believer in conversation is a form of communication, but I think it's the best form of communication. And the reason I say that is there's a saying by George Bernard Shaw that says the single biggest problem with communication is the illusion that it has taken place. And when you do one-way forms of communication, email, text message, Slack, Jira, leave a voicemail, then I don't know if you play it in the UK. We play a game when I was a kid called Telephone. I think maybe you call it Chinese Whispers is something. I think it's what it's
That's
called. So
that's right.
basically, it's if for the listeners they don't know, basically it's there's a group of kids and one kid has a secret and they tell that secret to the next kid who then tells that secret to the next kid and of course it passes. And what the fun of the game is that at the end, with the secret that comes out of the last person's mouth is not remotely close to what the first person said, right? That's what makes it fun. Well, that still plays out today in the business world and even more true in project management, because now as a business leader, I stand up and I say what I believe to be clearly a clear message because it makes sense to me and I articulate it and I'm the boss. Therefore, it must be a clear message. And then I'm just shocked when nobody does what I want or they do the wrong thing. Well, if I put myself back in the telephone game, when you tell me a one-way message, then I have to listen. I hear that message through my biases, through the way that I define terms, frankly, whether I'm having a bad day or not is going to change the way I interpret your message, right? Then I take that message and I pass it on to the next person who then takes it through their biases and their definition of whether they're having a good day or not. And so it's really no surprise that as the message transmits through the organization, it gets mangled. So what can solve all those problems, whether it's the telephone game or whether it's the business message today, is to have conversation. And I think the reason people like to default to the one-way communication, I think we have as human beings this burning desire to check things off of our to-do list. And the best way I can do that is if I email you it's done and I hope I never hear from you again. Or I post it on Slack that it's done and I hope you never see it and never talk to me again, right? Because if I actually picked up the phone or heaven forbid walk down the hallway and talk to you face to face, I might find out that it's not only is it not done, but there's 3 different things that I've done that are wrong. I've got to go back and redo them. And now I've added to my to-do list rather than taking it off of my to-do list. See people send these emails back and forth all the time. I'm like, just stop, pick up the phone, and in 30 seconds, you'll solve all these problems or you'll have clarification on how you need to move forward. And so I think for me with project management, the communication piece, especially the conversation piece, is so important because we have to make sure we're all moving in the same direction. And if I interpret it differently, I might be working at cross purposes.